Wasn't there supposed to be a monster in this movie? Welcome back, my fellow moviegoers. I'm Chris, and I'm here in the movie chair, welcoming you to another episode of the Flashback Friday review. And today we're going to go all the way back to the year 2014 to take a look at Godzilla. Alright, so this was America's second shot at trying to create a Godzilla movie after the critical failure of the one from 1998. And leading up to the release of this movie, it looked like maybe the studios had learned their lesson. For instance, taking place on the Pacific coast of America instead of having Godzilla make a pointless hike all the way from the Pacific Ocean up to New York City? Check. Give him his radioactive breath? Check. Not making Godzilla go on a drastic diet? Check. This is just to name a few, but the trailers look so promising because they just kind of showed teaser trailers and they didn't give away too much away about the movie, but from what they did show, it looked like Godzilla was going to be in his true to form way that he should be. But after watching this movie, my thrill just felt unsatisfied. First of all, in this movie, Godzilla is more of a guardian of the earth. This totally goes against what I felt the trailers were showing, which was I thought they were going to be showing him as more of like that bringer of destruction and chaos, especially in that one trailer where they showed them parachuting out of that airplane, and you saw them kind of like going into like a war zone, and you just see kind of like Godzilla in the distance and like heavy smoke, heavy debris, and like a sense of like flashing lights like lightning or something like that. It gave me the impression that he was going to be a like really bad guy. But no, instead of giving us this image of fear from Godzilla, he looks more like a cuddly little Rottweiler dog. Now in this movie, they introduce a new monster called Muto that Godzilla ends up having to fight, which I have no problem with, and I actually applaud the fact that they actually try to create a new monster for Godzilla to fight instead of relying on like the old Toho monsters like King Ghidorah or Mothra, which would be more like a safe zone for a first outing on a Godzilla movie. But the only problem is that there's nothing memorable about these monsters. Their looks, the motive of them just trying to create offspring so that their life can continue, it's all so generic and there's nothing new about it, so that it's just kind of like a typical monster that you really can't like, there's nothing memorable about it after you see it. And in fact, their storyline about them just creating like babies, that's kind of like the storyline of Godzilla from the 1998 movie. But what do you expect from these monsters with them not being able to develop their character? I know they're just monsters in this movie, but they can develop like a character for them, just like they can develop a character for Godzilla. But when you don't get that much screen time in the movie, it is really hard to develop that character for these guys. And that goes for Godzilla too. Despite his name being in the title, he just feels more like a supporting star or even a cameo star in this movie. In fact, he doesn't show up until like an hour into the movie. But guess what? To make up for that, they do make his first appearance being at the Hawaii airport, where he's going to go one-on-one with the Muto monster. And it's very intense. The camera does a dramatic pull-up all the way up, and you just see, oh my god, look how huge Godzilla is in this movie. And then he just lets out this monstrous roar at his opponent. The first fight is about to go down, and what do? They cut away from it! All we see is just this little clip of it on the news at Ford's house while his wife and kid are watching it. Why would you do this? At this point in the movie, I'm just looking around and I'm thinking to myself, alright people, I'm out of here. You enjoy the rest of this movie. I'm gone. Thank you. Bye. But no, I stayed. For $10 for a ticket to this thing, I'm going to stick it out all the way to the final fight of this film. Which is, ironically, the next time we actually get to see, like, Godzilla make a big appearance in this thing. We see him a little bit in the water during parts of the movie between this, but the final fight is really when we actually get to see him again. Well, let me correct that. We barely get to see him. The fight is at night, and it is way too dark to actually be able to see anything. It was like that in the movie theater, and it's like that on the Blu-ray and the DVD when I watched it at home. Why would you do that to us? The movie focuses more on the human characters in this film, which would not be bad if we could actually care about some of them. Bryan Cranston's character is the only character in that movie that I felt like I actually had some interest for. But then he drops dead way too soon in this movie, and we're left following his son Ford, who just kind of like clumsily and like happenstance ends up in the exact same places where Godzilla and the Mutos are actually fighting each other with like no reason whatsoever, in my opinion. In my opinion, Bryan Cranston's character should have stayed alive longer in this movie, because he's found out that the Muto are the ones that caused the accident at that nuclear power plant in Japan that him and his wife worked at that caused his wife to die. So then it would become more of he has a revenge story now. He wants to end the Muto. He wants to protect his son, his son's wife, his grandson. He wants to help Godzilla fight these things. And if he has to die in this movie, he dies at the end, making the ultimate sacrifice to ensure that his family can live on into the future. It's just that easy. But if you are a true die-hard Godzilla fan, wanting to watch this movie to see Godzilla back in the action again, you may end up being fairly disappointed. I suggest you go and watch Shin Godzilla if you haven't already done so. It just came out on Blu-ray and DVD, and it is a much superior movie than this one. However, if you have seen this movie, I am so curious to know what you think about it, so please let me know down there in the comment section below, because that is what it is there for. Also, remember, if you enjoyed my video, please remember to give it a like, and also subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date with all the upcoming videos. And speaking of videos, maybe you'd like to check out some of my past ones, like maybe this Shin Godzilla review. Very good movie. Check out my review if you haven't already done so. Alright my friends, that is all the time we have for today. I'll be seeing you guys later, and I will save you a movie chair for the next video.